Good morning, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Level 1 podcast for Wednesday, the 20th of December, 2023. And today we've got a chill show, an interesting one, where we'll be recapping a lot of the playthroughs I'm doing and give status updates because a few of these are actually starting to reach the end. We'll be talking about the very hyped Christmas marathon this weekend, the Christmas Eve React show, and more. But before we get to all of that, I have something that I would like to say that I feel is kind of pertinent and important, especially this time of year. You know, we're in the midst of the holiday season, are we not? Right? The snow is falling, the Christmas trees have been decorated, the food's in the oven, family and friends are on the way. And a lot of the time, we could get so caught up in our own hustle and bustle that we don't really start to look around us at things that are going down. And particularly, what I would like to address is that not everyone has a great time of year this time of year. For some, the holiday season is sad. They're alone. They don't have anyone. Or maybe they lost a family member or a friend or a loved one around this time of year, and it just serves as like a stark reminder of that loss. And a lot of us don't get that. I feel, you know, you don't understand that because your whole life you kind of associate the holiday season with positivity and fun and friends and giving. It's a positive season, but not for everyone. And as I've gotten older, I've learned to walk in other people's shoes and start to see from their perspectives. And basically what I want to emphasize this morning is that this time of year, as much as it is a time for us to be happy and healthy and be nice to everyone around us, it's also a time to be understanding and observant for those who aren't. And maybe understand that maybe their life isn't the same as yours. And you should perhaps try to walk in someone else's shoes and understand why they feel the way that they do before you cast harsh judgments against them. It's easy to just dismiss someone as a Grinch or a humbug instead of actually realizing that maybe something is going on in that person's life, and that's why they're not actually having a good time during this holiday season when the rest of us are. If you're someone who's in that position, I do have a message for you, okay? This morning I was getting ready. I was putting on my pullover here. I'm brushing my hair. I'm getting ready for the stream, right? And I'm having a good morning. Like, I'm having fun with my wife, and I'm having fun with Jasper. We've got all these creatures out in the backyard. To let you know what happened, because it was kind of funny. We have this new thing we've been doing. It's called suet. And what it is, it's a block of like coagulated fat and nuts and fruit and stuff. And you put it in this little cage and you hang it outside on your fence, and all these creatures will come by to eat it over the course of the day. Okay? So we're putting out a new one. And my wife goes to do it. She goes to pop it out, and the whole thing just goes, explodes. So there is suet chunks all over the backyard. And so she comes inside to wash her hands because the thing is so messy. And all these creatures just converge on the backyard. We've got squirrels. We've got birds of like 5 different kinds. And it's beautiful. It's like, wow, how awesome, how positive. And we're smiling ear to ear. We're eating our breakfast. I'm having my coffee. We're having a really great morning. Okay, I come upstairs. I brush my hair to get ready for the stream. And I realize how lucky I am to have the life that I have, that we live to. It's such a beautiful life that's fun and positive, and we're really, really enjoying this holiday season. And then I thought back to about 8 years ago, 7 years ago, and I'm remembering how things were at a time in my life when things were not good. You know, back then I didn't even have a podcast, all right? I didn't even turn on my camera unless it was like a special event. Back then, I didn't care about how I looked, how I dressed, how I behaved. I was literally, at that point in my life, a heavy alcoholic drinker. My personal life was a shambles. In the morning, did I ever brush my hair or get nice and get ready to go on stream? No, I didn't even care. It was just like, well, just another day. Just going to throw myself out on stream and hopefully make some money today. That's really what was in my mind back then. I was in a low point of my life, you know, and just going through the motions just to get stuff to happen. And I particularly remember that time of that. I can't remember exactly the year, but I just remember this one year. It was the holiday season. And even though on stream I was putting out a show publicly for everyone, I was feeling awful. My life sucked. I didn't like anything that was going on in my life. I hated what I was doing for my job. It had gotten stale. I hated my personal life. It was falling apart. I was, drinking constantly. So basically all this bad stuff going on. And now here I am this morning, and I'm having like the best, morning with my family, enjoying the holiday season. I'm excited to come on stream with all of you this morning and have a great day. And it just hit me like how lucky I am and how easy it is for those of us who just don't understand others and their perspectives and what they could be going through to be harsh and judgmental. So I just wanted to bring some awareness to this to you all this morning. And for those of you who maybe are at your low right now, because I'm assured that a few people who are watching this podcast right now, live or on demand, may be feeling low and being down, and there's bad stuff going on in your life right now. First of all, I want you to let you know I get it, because I've been there, all right? And the only thing that I can say, because I'm not a medical professional, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a counselor, I'm not some psychic who can tell the future. But what I can tell you is that from my personal experience, all right, these low times in your life don't last. They will definitely come up. There's going to be times in your life that you just can't avoid stuff happening, all right? My life has been like this, all right? A series of high highs immediately followed by a crashing bunch of low lows, and then a high high, and then a low low again, and it just constantly going like this. And you can't really avoid that. Some people are lucky, and they're rich, and they don't have to worry about stuff, and their life is just a high all the time, right? But not many of us get to experience that. A lot of us, we have real lives of this varying up and down cycle, correct? So understand that right now, if you're at a low during this holiday season, and everyone around you just might not get it, might not understand why you're all bummed out and you want to be left alone and you're just feeling glum and very humbug, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Don't worry. At least my advice is things will get better. They don't last, they just don't. Things always change. It just takes some time and patience. And when you're at your lowest, you don't want to hear that. You want to hear that it's either going to immediately change right now, or else you're so stuck in the dumps that you can't think of anything else but being stuck in the dumps. I know, again, I've been there. But I want to let you know, at least from my perspective and my experiences in my life, things get better. They do. So at a time when a lot of people may be struggling, I want you to know I got your back. I know what you're going through. And stick in it. Stick with it. All right? Don't give up, because life is not worth giving up on. There's a lot of good things going on. And as you can get past the low parts, right, there's nowhere to go but up. I've been at a point where I hated my life. I hated who I was. I didn't think anyone cared about me. I didn't think anyone loved me. I didn't think that anything that I did on this planet mattered. I thought I was an insignificant speck that was nothing but a waste of air. That's how I felt. And now look at me. Years later, I'm happily married with a great family life, with a great show that I put out every day that people care about, awesome content and streams, a job that I love, a family that I can't wait to spend time with over these holidays. This is it. This is life. This is great. And it took a long time to get here, but I'm here. And I think that everyone else out there can experience this too. And I want you to experience this. So I want you to know that don't dwell on the negative. Don't dwell on those awful things that are happening right now. They're going to happen. In life, they're unavoidable, but you will bounce back. Just stick in there, all right? Know that everyone out there, if they don't understand what you're going through, that's on them, because maybe they've never been through it. Maybe their low lows are coming, and then the harsh reality is going to smack them in the face one day, and then they'll realize what you're going through, and maybe they'll feel a little bit bad about how they're treating you right now, right? But yeah, just know, I know exactly what's going on. I do. I've been there, and I wish you all the best, even if you're not having the best holiday season. If you're going through some bad stuff right now, things will get better eventually, all right? And another thing that I would say too, and I know this is going to be really tough, try not to let what's going on right now tarnish the holiday season forever, because I know how easy it is to associate a negative with a certain date or a certain time of year. And this is a time of year when, in general, most people are feeling jolly and happy and jovial. And man, it would suck if this time of year becomes the opposite for you because something is going bad now. Know that things are not forever. Things are not absolute. Things can change and improve. And I wish you the best, and I hope that they do for you. Okay? All right. And that's what I had to start the show with today because, some stuff going on. And I felt like I would throw that out there, and I hope that all of you are having a happy and holiday season. Continue north and see what else we've got up there and get to other plot points. Again, as long as you guys show up and you engage with me during this playthrough, you help me out to understand the lore, to understand the gameplay mechanics that I'm not getting, to make this an interactive and fun experience rather than a game I'm trying to play for myself and not getting. Again, instead of it being like Dark Souls 1, my first run, where I didn't get the game, I got frustrated and I quit it, I'd much rather have it be a fun, interactive experience with all of you. Now, I have an update, and I have something to say about this. I talked about it very briefly in last night's Daily Wrap, but in case you missed it, I'm having a pretty good laugh right now, all right? Admittedly. And here's why, okay? For those who don't know, I have a group of people on this internet who hate my guts because they're morons. It's not because they have valid reasons to not like me. It's because they just listen to people who like to crap on me because they get personal gain out of it. Whether they make content or they do streaming, whatever it is. Being toxic on the internet is very profitable and popular today. It's also very harmful and very messed up that you would do it. But these people just decide to do it because they're incredibly greedy and immoral and scumbags. Okay? It's the easy way to be popular on the internet instead of actually having to do something of worth or quality and work hard. Instead, you take the easy way out and you just crap on people, okay? So these people are upset right now. And let me tell you why they're upset. It's pretty funny, all right? So as you guys know, when Baldur's Gate 3 came out in August, I did not play it. I told you guys I didn't think it was going to fit into my streaming format. At that point, with all the new releases that were going to be coming out over the fall, I didn't feel like a game like this made any sense to play at that point. But I told you guys that maybe eventually when it was ported to console, which it was in September, I would look into it. And all over the course of September, October, November, everyone's saying, are you going to play Baldur's Gate? Are you going to play Baldur's Gate? Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate, Baldur's Gate. And every time you guys asked, I said, guys, can't do it yet. We don't have time. If we started it now, no one would be satisfied. Because we've got so many other games going on that we got to finish first. We know that Baldur's Gate is a 100+ hour experience. It doesn't make sense to jump into Baldur's Gate now. You guys won't be satisfied if I play it once or twice a week. You want to see a good amount of progress every week. We got to stay in the lore of this universe. We got to stay engaged, right? So let's wait till it makes sense, and then we'll talk about, when we're going to do it. Okay, great. And that's exactly what we've done. Now, what ended up happening was, of course, hype keeps building. The game gets nominated for Game of the Year and a million other awards. The game wins Game of the Year and a million other awards at the Game Awards. So the hype goes sky high. And it just so happens that during this time period, I finish a ton of other games. And we're to the point now where there are no other major new releases this year except for Avatar. And so we're sitting here trying to determine what we're going to do. Should I play Avatar? Should I not? What should I do? And we come to the conclusion, people want to see Baldur's Gate 3 no matter what. So people start nominating this game in droves for the Christmas marathon. And I'm like, oh, how is Baldur's Gate 3 going to work for a Christmas marathon when potentially I'm only going to be playing it for like an hour? We probably won't even get out of the character creator, right? So I'm like, man, this is not going to work. So finally, all things considered, we're all talking about this. We say, let's just play it. Now makes sense because we can play it for about a month before big new releases start coming out in January. And we can get a big chunk into the game. If I'm playing it roughly 9 hours a week, we could get potentially 40+ hours into this game before it kind of has to go on a little bit of a back burner for me to play other hot new releases, okay? So that's how we've been approaching it. And so far, we're 12 hours in, really enjoying the game, playing it 3 more today, 9 more hours next week, even with my holiday marathon on Saturday and the Christmas Eve special on Sunday and no streaming on Monday. I'm still playing Baldur's Gate 3 times next week because you guys like it so much and because I'm really enjoying this experience we're having together, okay? So, what is the point, says King Be Cruel? Well, if you had some patience, King Be Cruel, maybe you would learn. Maybe if you could be quiet for a second so I could finish my story. Instead of whining in the chat, if you could be quiet for a moment and listen to me speak on my podcast, you would understand where I'm going with this, okay? So, I'm being silly. I'm just joking. Don't take it seriously. Okay. So, why I'm bringing all this up is because recently I started to notice a lot of people are getting bothered by the fact that I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 and I'm enjoying it with my audience and we're having a good time and the playthrough is not a train wreck disaster. Yes, people are genuinely upset that I'm having a good time with this game and it's doing well. They don't like that. I'm getting comments on videos. I'm getting emails about it. Oh, how dare you play Baldur's Gate 3 and have a good time with your audience. So now, of course, it becomes, oh, your audience just handholds you every single possible moment, right? It's like, well, if you watch the playthrough, you'd see I've never played D&D before of any kind. I've never played this style of game. It makes sense to have that level of engagement with the audience. That's what's making the playthrough good. You guys get to see my genuine first-time reactions to this game that I don't really understand, and I get to be immersed in lore and gameplay elements and a new atmosphere that I've never seen before. It works both directions, right? Again, if I were just sitting here playing the game for myself, I would not be enjoying it. I want you to understand that. It is this interaction that we're having that is the reason why this playthrough is so good right now. And as long as we keep that going, this playthrough will be a lengthy, enjoyable, awesome game. But if people get bored, or if I get bored and we get disengaged with the game or each other, yeah, that's when it's going to kind of fall apart. And that's happened with other game playthroughs before. But let me tell you, seriously, right now, these people are really upset. There are, like I said, they just can't take the fact that something that I'm doing is going well. At any moment in my life, if something goes well, they hate it. When I come to my stream and I say, wow, I had a great morning, oh my God, they get really upset. As petty as that is, as weird as that is, that's how some people are on this planet. There's people who literally only live to see others suffer. And when that suffering stops, or if it's going the other way, they can't stand it. And that's what's happening right now with this playthrough. Like, some of these people are so dumb, they don't realize that, like, when they come on the playthrough and they try to, like, leave insanely negative comments about that, no one's going to see them. Right? They're that dumb. They'll come and write, like, a giant paragraph on part 1 of Baldur's. This playthrough will suck because Phil will just have his handheld the entire playthrough. He's not playing the game for himself, and he's only playing it because he's making money. And it's absolutely hilarious. It couldn't be any less true. If you just watch the playthrough, you would totally see what they're saying is false, but they want to try to shit on your Wheaties. You get it? Like, that's what it is. They want to ruin a good experience that others are having. There's so many people that are sad little miserable balls of hate on the internet that they can't get away from themselves being like that and trying to just dump on everything. And I think a lot of people were actually anticipating that this playthrough was going to suck. They thought that I was not going to like it. I was going to suck at it. You guys were going to hate me playing it because you would think that I wasn't going to get it and that it was going to be like me beating my head against the wall and everyone just being frustrated. Like, oh, but it hasn't been like that, right? Yes, I am trying to learn. And yes, it's tough. I'll admittedly, again, say it again, we're 12 hours in. I still feel like every time I play this game, I'm getting an education. Every time you're teaching me new things about the game I don't understand. It's very complex. There's lots of levels here to understand of gameplay elements, of lore, and all this stuff. So it is tough. It's like I'm absorbing so much information every single time that we play Baldur's Gate 3. But because it's a successful, fun, engaged experience with the audience, that's why it's working, and that's why it's been such a great experience, right? And people can't stand that. They think, they literally want to believe that me, Phil Burnell, DSP of 2023, is the same as DSP of 2011. The guy who literally couldn't play Dark Souls, raged, walk off cliffs, got to Blighttown and rage quit the game. They want to believe that because that pushes their toxic narrative and continues with their negative memes and shit on the internet, but it's completely false. There's nothing to justify what they're saying, but they say it anyway, and they're upset when something actually comes out as concrete evidence that what they're saying is wrong. So every moment that this playthrough exists, succeeds, is positive, and we're having a great time together with it, they're upset. Now, I can't fix that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't fix these broken people. I wish I could. I wish there was some magic word I could say to make them all feel better about life so that they would not feel miserable now because the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough is a good success right now. Like, I wish there was something I could do to make these people feel better about their own lives so they would stop caring so much about mine. But sadly, I don't know how to do that. I can't really reach out to every single one of these thousands of miserable wretches and try to make their lives each better individually. I'm not a real life Santa Claus. I can't do that. Maybe if this was some kind of a Hallmark Christmas movie, I'd have some dust and I go on my stream, and all of a sudden their lives are, oh, their hearts grew 3 sizes and now they all feel better about the holiday season and they stop caring about my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough. But I guess there's no way I can really do that. You know what I mean? So, I just want you to understand that how appreciative I am, because for every person out there who's positive and having fun with me every day and enjoying my content and my streams, understand that there's these weird, miserable people who are they're always rooting against everything, right? They want everything to go wrong. They want everything to fail. They want everything to just think about that. It's the holiday season. Christmas is in less than a week, and they're sitting on my streams and on my videos typing out paragraphs of nasty comments no one will ever see to say, I don't like you and I hope everything fails for you. What kind of a person would do that? I mean, don't you feel bad? You would think, oh, don't you get upset? No, I don't get upset anymore. I used to. Back in the day, I would see that behavior and I'd be like, wow, I'm upset. I'm not upset anymore. I feel sad that there's so many people on this planet that have nothing going for them, that this is their existence. I also feel sad that they get wrapped up into this toxicity and negativity, especially this time of year. People are still telling me, and again, I don't know because I don't pay attention to it, but every day people, did you know that someone's talking about you right now on their stream negatively? Did you know that someone's doing this stream and it's all toxic stuff about you and your family members and this and that? Did you hear on this podcast they did it? No. I don't care. It's the holiday season. I'm here to make fun gameplay with you guys and be positive. Can you imagine being a toxic, negative person Christmas week? I can't, but that's these people. This is their whole life and existence. They claim it's lolcowing is milking people. You're not milking me. You're milking miserable people on the internet. You're creating more misery, a cycle of misery for personal gain. Anyone who makes that kind of content should be fucking ashamed, demonetized, and in my opinion, banned from YouTube. They shouldn't exist. That's the worst kind of content, especially for this kind of year. And these people are all focused on it. That's what I mean. Why the hell would anyone be like that this time of year? That's insanity. That's absolute nuttiness to think that that's something you should be doing Christmas week. But that's the reality of life right now on Earth, is that you have how many hundreds, if not millions, hundreds of thousands to millions of people on this planet that are just plain miserable. And no one cares about them. And they just leave them. What happens is people abuse them. People are making this kind of predatory content to hone in and sucker those people into feeling good about misery. That should never happen. You should never feel good about misery ever in your life. That's why it's called misery, because it's supposed to make people miserable, not happy. If you think that someone being miserable makes you happy, you need to go seek some kind of mental readjustment with a professional or a counselor. You really should. You shouldn't be sitting on the internet dwelling in misery at Christmas week. That's really messed up. People sitting here, man, I just can't wait for the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough to go sour. What the hell is wrong with you? You're nuts. You need help. Really, you should actively stop whatever you're doing and go to see someone who can maybe help you and readjust your brain to have a better life, a productive, positive life. You shouldn't be dwelling on that stuff. And it really makes me sad to know how many people there are like this, okay? So, truth is, I'm having a great time. I cannot wait for more Baldur's Gate 3 today. I know we're going to have a great stream. I hope you guys, again, will stick around. And I certainly feel that you guys will, you know, continue to enjoy the playthrough as much as I have, I hope. And, you know, again, as long as we keep up the level of engagement and consistent interaction and you helping me with the stuff I don't understand and giving me advice on things I should do. And again, that doesn't mean hand-holding every moment. That doesn't mean, oh, this is a fight. Here's exactly how to win it in 2 turns. No. I want to figure it out for myself. But if I ask questions, hey, is this spell working how I think it works? What's a good spell to pick when I level up? You know, am I missing out on anything important or essential in this area? Because I swear I searched the area, but maybe I missed a little. You know what I mean? Those are just genuine questions and things to make the gameplay experience more enjoyable rather than me just guessing for myself and flubbing it and doing things wrong and missing out on stuff. You know, I want to have a good time. I'm not going to be going back and playing Baldur's Gate 3 10 times. I'm going to play it once. So I want this one time to be a great, enjoyable experience, okay? Okay. Outside of everything I just talked about, I don't have really much else, so what I will just do is very briefly remind everyone that I am a crowd-funded individual who does not take on any sponsorships, partnerships, paid promotions, referral codes. I don't heavily advertise anything to you. Basically, what you see is what you get. Honest content. No ads are on the border of this stream blinking and saying click here, because this is me presenting myself to you on the internet, and that's how I want to keep it. An honest relationship between us. Because I'm honest, I can say and do whatever I want. I can say a game sucks and I can say a game rocks. It doesn't matter what I say, because I'm not going to get dropped by a sponsor, but I'm also going to not get my butt kissed and get sent free stuff either. I'm just like you. I'm a normal guy able to share my honest opinions about stuff on the net, because I haven't put myself into a position where now my opinions will be influenced for personal gain. Okay? So that being said, if you like that style of content and that relationship that we have, that honest relationship, please support it, all right? Because I don't have all of that extra support, making that bag from this kind of other sponsored content, it means that I rely on crowdfunding to make ends meet. And for 15 years, you have supported myself and my streams and my content on YouTube, and I really appreciate that. I'm only here because of you. I want you to know that. This has always been a relationship where I make the free content, but you guys support it, and that's how I make my living. And I thank you for that, okay? So, how can you support the streams? You can like the streams, you can leave comments, interact with me, you can like the videos, leave comments on the videos. All that is great engagement that helps the channel. You can become a member today. Tons of benefits to being a member, including emotes, chat crown badge, ignoring slow mode in the stream and talking as much as you want in the chat, getting access to these special events, for example, nominating this game for the Christmas event. That Grinch game is solely because of the members, right? So, all these special things. 'Tis the season. Gifted memberships are available. If someone wanted to not only just help out the channel, but the community at large, you can gift memberships to others here live on the stream. And I'm sure they'd be greatly appreciative of that. My goal for the day is to try to get 655 members. We have been teetering at the edge of 650. Some days we go above, some days we're under, then we're above, then we're under. It's ever fluctuating. That's the nature of the beast on YouTube. You never know what's going to happen, because memberships expired, the memberships renew, gifted memberships get tossed out. So today, I would hope we can hit 655 members. That would be outstanding if we did. Thanks in advance to anyone who becomes one or gifts one. The other goal for me today is tips, to try to hit the tier 1 tips goal. I try to do this every single stream. We've actually done this every single Baldur's Gate stream, which is amazing. Thank you for that. And I hope you'll continue to support my content, but particularly the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, because it's been great, and I want to keep that rolling, obviously. This is the one major game I'm really playing right now, thanks to you and your support and your interaction. And, you know, thank you, and let's have a great stream of that. Okay. Andy says, did you hear there's people that are making an app so AI girlfriends are a thing? I don't care. I don't care about that topic at all. I don't even know why you would think I would care about that. Not everything on this planet applies to everyone. That is certainly a topic that doesn't apply to me. Hey, more power to you. If you want to have a virtual girlfriend and you want to spend all your time talking to a fake person, you want to dump all your money into a fake person, go for it. I mean, in Japan, they already do that at the host and hostess clubs, right? So now it's just, you're going the next step. It's not even a real human faking a relationship. It's just fake human. So it's the different levels of fake, right? You have the full-on fake AI, but then you have the person who is acting fake, like they care about you just for your money. I mean, we could keep going through all these levels of fake, right? Anyway, all right, I received a $20 tip this morning from 1 Minute Man. Oh, wow, listen to this. Excuse me. I swear to you, 1 Minute Man did not belch. That was me. That was a really nasty belch. That's why I turned around, because it hit me so bad and I knew it was coming. And I was like, let's deflect this. But the problem was I directed it towards Mega Man, and it bounced right back with an echo. So you probably still heard it, right? It like bounced right off the picture. So basically, 1 Minute Man is giving me an insane amount of information about Baldur's Gate 3. Just listen to this. To open the Necronomicon, enter the well in the blighted village, see past spiders, find the dark amethyst. You'll need wisdom in order to read it, and then you could go find Karlach, and when you help her, you can use the Sword of Justice to make her a powerful berserker. Okay, thank you, 1 Minute Man. Thank you. I won't remember any of this. No, really, I know I won't. You know, the best way to help with stuff is when I'm playing the game. You know, I'm trying to figure stuff out. That would be the time. Like now, like I'm not. And by the way, this is not me being negative or anything. This is me being honest. A lot of people have bombarded me in the last week to week and a half with a ton of information about Baldur's Gate 3. But you have to understand that if it's not in context to what we're doing, I will never understand or remember any of it. There's been people who've written insane 10-paragraph posts on the videos. And I prove the comments. If anyone wants to read them, I try to skim through them. It's like, there's no way I'm going to understand any of what I'm being told right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just whoop right over my head. And in this case, I had a feeling when we found this Necronomicon book, there was some trick to opening it. I just didn't know what it was yet. And I figured there's a way to do it later. So maybe eventually, he's telling me, so he's like, enter the well in the blighted village and see past spiders and find the dark amethyst. I don't even know what that is. Like, what's the blighted village? I don't know. Have we even been there yet? Are we close to it? You see what I mean? Like, this is all valid information for when we get there. So, and this is not just to 1 Minute Man, this is to everyone. Thank you so much for caring so much about the playthrough. Really? Like, I really, really appreciate that. Did I play the animation? I don't know if I did. I'll hit it again. But this kind of information is going to go in one ear and out the other. You know, I'm a dunderhead. I'll just admit it. I'm a dunderhead, okay? I don't absorb information like a sponge, like a lot of people do. Like, if some people are like, they have like a photogenic memory, or they have like, if you just say something to them, they'll just totally remember it at all times. I'm someone who learns by doing. Get it? So like, when I'm playing the game, if I get this information thrown at me and we're doing it together, I'll totally appreciate it, understand it, and love it. But right now, telling that to me, you might as well recite, you know, an instructions on how to make a delicious gourmet meal in Greek. And it has about the same amount of impact. Because, like, I don't even know what the Blighted Village is. I don't know how to sneak past enemies yet. We haven't even tried that yet, right? We don't know how to do it properly. I don't know how this Dark Amethyst, you know, would affect. Would it do something? Would it negate the Necronomicon? I don't know. And by the way, today I think we will likely get to Karlach. I think that's where we were headed anyway. Karlach. I don't know how to say the name because no one said it yet in the game. I think that's where we're headed. We're headed north from where we were. So likely that's the next big thing we're doing. But it's funny because as much as 1 Minute Man said, so give her this particular sword, she'll become some kind of a barbarian. Someone also left a comment on my video last night. So if you do this other build with her, she could just talk to animals infinitely, and therefore you don't have to worry about losing your ability to talk to animals by having a long rest. The potion will lose its effect, but then she could talk to the animals instead if you do this other build. So it's like, you see, like, it's insane info overload for me. It is. It's like info overload, and when that happens, sometimes my brain, it's funny, my brain gets flayed. My brain gets addled. And it's funny because that's actually what we're dealing with in the game, the mind flayers. It's like, yeah, that's what happens to me. My brain's just like, like you just take my head and you shake it around like this, like, wait, hey. So let's tackle these things as we get to them. All right. But thank you, 1 Minute Man, for the tip. Thank you for the advice. If we can apply this when we get to these things, maybe we will. If we're in the Blighted Village, if you're saying we're in a Blighted Village already, like the Goblin town we were in, I don't know if that's the Blighted Village. It didn't look blighted to me. It just looked like an abandoned village the goblins were in, right? But if you're saying there's a well we should go down, maybe we should go back and check that out. If that's what you're saying, because again, I don't know if that's what you're saying or not. I'm totally confused. Okay.